Guess we're starting. Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D 4X today. I was like sitting here, like looking at the button. The mouse was on the button to start streaming, and I was like, I guess I'm going to start streaming, and I'd already pushed the button. So that's what's going on, and we're just going. I'm streaming some 2D 4X like normal on the weekends. 2D 4X is a 2D 4X video game that I am creating. It's open source with the Godot engine, which is what we're seeing right here. With the .NET version, which is the C# version, which I guess I haven't even opened up C# yet, so we got to do that. Sorry, not C# Visual Studio. I haven't opened up Visual Studio yet. What are we working on today? County improvements. So we're probably going to actually want this thing open. This takes a minute for some reason. I timed it once. I think it was like 30 seconds it takes to open up Visual Studio. It seems like a very long time to me. I'm just checking through all my other shit over here. I think there's a YouTube thing that you're not supposed to cuss within the first 9 seconds of of a video or streaming. Taryn, how's it going? And I've already I don't know. That has to have been longer than 9 seconds. They lower your where they put out, they're in control of who they show your videos to, and I think if you cuss in the first 9 seconds, they don't show it as much, because they're against cussing. But it's weird. I have not I have not learned anything new since yesterday. I haven't even opened up Visual Studio. Actually, is that true? I think I opened up Godot. What did I do? I think I opened it up and then closed it. I was thinking about working on something, and then I didn't. I want to go get back. I have like a test multiplayer thing that I've been messing around with, and I keep wanting to go. I forget what it's called here. Multiplayer lobby. It's like part of a tutorial, like the tutorial is called multiplayer lobby or something, and I went through it and was learning that stuff. But the way I want to do it, I can't find a tutorial. Actually, that's not true. I think I found a tutorial of someone explaining. Basically, what I want to do is I want to have it, instead of the game clients connecting to each other like this, I want them to connect to a server in the middle, and then the server to hand off the game to each other, kind of like how Cosmeteer does it. Which has nothing to do with 2D 4X, but that I think I opened up that last night thinking maybe I'll work on this, and then I did not work on it. I just closed it immediately. That's a pretty common thing for me. I'm indecisive sometimes at night. Do I want to play a video game? Do I want to watch a movie? Do I want to work on some video game that I'm going to create? I have 2 video games that are really far along. Well, okay, not that far along, but far along enough that I feel like I'm pretty confident I can finish them, but then I just never work on them. I don't know why. When I open it up, I don't. Not the multiplayer thing, but other ones. I just don't work on them. Anyways, so before I started streaming here today. I don't know much about the networking stuff in the video game form. That's why I was doing the tutorials. And I also, Unity had the same thing, that it doesn't give you a lot of information when you connect. Maybe Unity has improved it, because I know they were in the middle of improving it. And I think Godot is also kind of in the middle of improving it. But I want more information when things connect. So I was writing all of this, like, console stuff in there to give, get error codes and things, if I remember correctly, because I needed more information on what's going on. But yeah, I don't know that much about how the protocols work. I'm an IT manager in real life, but we don't get like deep into how like ITPC, no, I don't know, whatever that shit's called. You just use it. I have a friend who's an IT guy for developers, actually, and he's always shocked at how little developers know about computers. Like, you would assume that they would know a lot, but they know that, and they know how to develop, they know how to make stuff in their specific sphere in the IT realm, but they don't know outside of that. Anyways, what we got to do today is going to be kind of painful. the more I think about it, the more painful it is. And I was thinking about this before I started streaming because I needed like a list. Well, I needed to write the title for the video, but we did this. I think we finished this yesterday. So we were doing this, and then let's actually go back and turn on the translation. So one of the things that I was thinking about is we are going to need work on the tool tip thing pretty aggressively, because there's going to be things in this that are going to be kind of confusing to the player, and they may be confusing to me later. Like after like 6 months from now, I'll be like, why did I do this? But if I have a tooltip on there, it'll explain, because I always forget what is certain stuff. So I think we are gonna do the tooltips. Not, I said aggressively, but maybe not that aggressively. But that also means we need to continue with the localization. So that's going to slow down our getting shit done, but that's fine. We got to do it. Network programming is really hard. I imagine so, because it, if it was easy, every game would be multiplayer. But there's many a game out there that you would assume should be multiplayer. There's this one game. Man, I wish I could remember the name of it because it's kind of pointless. But anyways, there's this one amazing game where it's not amazing, where you have these like clones on a spaceship, and you do these landings, and you can like build the spaceship, and there's 4 clones or 5 clones on the spaceship, and it just seems like it's built for multiplayer, but it's only single player, and they said that they could never get multiplayer to work right, or they never really tried that hard. But it's like one of those things where this is a professional gaming company and can't get the multiplayer to work, so what am I gonna, it's got to be difficult. So let's see here. What was I doing? I was doing this. Oh, I was gonna switch this thing to Spanish, because the thing's gonna be in Spanish mostly, so we can see what is translated and what is not. And I was gonna do this. So one of my other games that I'm working on is, I want to get to the multiplayer part of that first, so I can learn how to do it before I get to it on this. Though I do need to. The longer I hold off, it's the same as like the localization. The longer I hold off adding the multiplayer to this, the worse it's going to be. The more difficult it's going to be. All right, so this is translated. This is what we put this little question mark, as it's kind of in a bad. It's not really translating. It's just a workaround for now. We'll deal with it later. Maybe today. So that works. We're going to make sure that this is alphabetized. That's right. So this is already done. I just wanted to make sure this was done, working correctly. So we'll close that issue. And what is next? I minimize that when I actually need this open. So one of the problems that we have is if you have a bunch of county improvements built, you don't have enough people, and part of the game is going to be juggling your people. And like how many people? Oh man, this person's there's only one woman in this. Oh, bummer for this population. You're going to be wanting to juggle your population and having them work where you want them to work. Like where you're not going to have enough people to work everywhere at the beginning. And so part of this issue, well, let's actually get to, I think we're going to need to have the player have the ability to adjust how many people work there. And I kind of didn't want to do that, though. I wanted the people to kind of know how much they need to build. So I've been flip-flopping on how I want to do that. You need to implement a few levels of network workarounds. Protocols you want to use, synchronization between yeah. What? Yeah. I imagine it's not going to be easy. Sometimes I think so. It's like for example, I was talking to one of my friends who's a developer, and I was telling him, this is when I was back using Unity. I was like, oh, I got my save game to work, And he said, oh, make sure you encrypt the save game file. And I was like, why the fuck do I care if people mess with their save game file? And so there's this balance, and this is in the IT world, just as an IT manager. There's a balance between security and use. Like, I don't care if people edit their save game. But for him, it was very important. So yeah, there is definitely going to be some security stuff on there, which that part I'm kind of familiar with, though. That's just hardening the server. The amount of resources the building generates every day should be on. Let's put in, I typed that into the title. Let's add a thing here. Inputs. We need to be able to see the inputs. We need to see outputs. Currently, it doesn't say anything about, I can't read Spanish, but, you know, I can guess. This is just, you know, the office. We need to have outputs on here. And so this is going to be actually like a number. It's going to be like 5 whatevers will get you inputs. Number 2 gets outputs. So we're going to need that. And we're going to need, I'm clicking in all the wrong places. Inputs, outputs. I just had a thought that I had never thought about before. Which is probably, I don't think I've ever thought about it before. Maybe there's certain stuff shouldn't, so currently everything is every day something's produced, but maybe there's certain stuff that should take longer than a day to produce. That is kind of, So if you're going to build a tank, you shouldn't get 1 tank a day. So we're going to probably want to put in, I'm going to put this in not as an issue yet. These things need to be converted to issues though. And we'll move them up to the top here. And then this is going to be county improvement output could take more than 1 day. But I'm not going to turn that into a thing yet, because maybe I'll be like, oh wait, then we'll do it, whatever. What else do we need on this? So we have influence cost. So the input things is going to be actually kind of a pain in the ass, because it's going to, let's move this up here. Let's start with that, because it's going to be a pain in the ass. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to have a lot of these things called remnants. They're basically like scrap. I don't know what this is I'm doing with my hand. And you're going to, so the goal for the game is at the beginning of the apocalypse, which is where the game starts. The apocalypse has just happened. There's going to be a lot of like old shit laying around, and you're going to be able to use that old shit to build your stuff. And so you'll have a bunch of remnants, is what I'm calling them in game, to use to build stuff. But by the time that runs out, you need to have your production running. So like the scouting equipment is what we're working on right now. Primitive scouting equipment. At the beginning, you'll have remnants, but eventually it will take some different inputs. And if you have access to those different inputs, like steel and paper and glass, let's say, those 3 things, all 3 of those are not in the game yet. But if we had access to all 3 of those things, you could pick between what you want to use, the remnants or those 3 items. So we need to have that as an option, like where you can pick between the 2. And what we'll do is we'll do like wood, because we have that in the game. So let's put this in here. Pick between inputs. So almost everything, I can see something on my face there. Almost everything is going to be able to be built with remnants at the beginning, but you're going to run out of remnants, and that will be kind of like the push for you to move to attack other places. So one of the things so with CK3, for example, or CK2, The reason you expand your kingdom is because, like, there's no reason to expand your kingdom. You just do it because you want to run the whole map. You know, that's the goal, is to take over the whole map, unless you're playing tall, but whatever. And I want it more where you run out of stuff, so you need to invade other places to get those resources, or you could trade with them. But that is, and then we'll do this here. That is how I want that to be more like Victoria 3, where you're running out, or Hearts of Iron, you're running out of resources, so you have to be forced to expand, use diplomacy or war. So that's part of this whole thing with the remnants running out. You could also take over another county to get their remnants to continue. But this is what we're doing today, is we're going to rebuild this thing, and we might actually just make this 2 different things, but I don't think we need to. So I have this under construction thing that moves this around. We're going to have to make this bigger. Let's look at our research first. Oh, I was like, what happened to these under construction things? It's because I was clicking them over here. So actually, this is the better one to look at. We need to put all this information here, so this needs to be bigger. We can make it taller, it looks like no problem. We can move this up to the top. We could also move this over here, so that, or, you know, make it, yeah, maybe over here, and have it a list that you could scroll through. We have a lot of space on the sides. Obviously, let's say this description was longer, we would still have a lot of space on the sides. I think we should move this to the left, or to the right-hand side, instead of the bottom, because these are going to be bigger. Actually, let's fuck around with this thing a little bit and see what it looks like. So let's add a couple of, we're going to need a checkbox. Yeah, let's do this. We're going to need a checkbox for, this is going to be, say, we need to also translate this stuff, because currently it's not. This is going to say, use remnants, that's something I'm going to find that way. Here, I have it over here. I can look it up. Scavenging. I need it under remnants. I got an extra A. Use remnants. There we go. So this should be, so we need this checkbox. I'm trying to think of, like, we're just going to put everything we need. We're going to need probably, and then we can move this shit around once we got everything that we have over there. We're going to need a label that is, because some things won't be able to be built with remnants, but most will, but some won't. At least that's the plan. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but so we'll need the input. And we probably won't call it inputs, but we'll say input title. We'll duplicate this thing. This is going to be whatever input. So that's going to be like 1. You know, let's say it's wood and canned goods, because that's 2 things we have. We'll need another one of these. But so we'll probably want this in an H box though. So we'll add an H box in here. And we'll put these here. I'm going to say this is 2. Take that back. We're going to say this is 2. We're going to need, and then outputs. We definitely need outputs. So we're going to have an output title. Actually, we'll just duplicate this one. Output. I'm not typing anywhere. Outputs. And I don't like the term outputs because that's bad. We made this description smaller just to fit it in this little thing, but I don't think we're gonna do that. We can fix that. Yeah, I don't like inputs and outputs. I think we'll put like materials or something. We'll call it materials, and then the output will be produces. Maybe we'll just do that right now. Inputs will be like materials, and then over here we'll put production produces. Produces. I don't like that either. And what else are we going to need? I thought I had a pretty good list, but I looked at this before I started streaming, and I don't. I thought I put some stuff in here. In the population list where it shows the population of work should be clickable, so it goes list of buildings. If building is selected, the inspector should add the county to the completed. Oh. Prioritize construction so that people will leave their jobs to construct. So that's another thing we could do, and we probably should put it in here. This looks awful, but that's expected. Is like a prioritize button on. We could do that now instead of later. So basically, that would be that you'd want to prioritize this building being worked on and stuff. But once again, I want to kind of try to take that away from the player. The reason why I want to take that away from the player is because of Victoria 3. Later game, and it usually happens to me around 1870, and the game starts in 1830, so it's not that long into the game. It becomes very tedious to control all of your productions and stuff, and you got to be fucking with things all the time, or the computer's too stupid to figure out that you don't want to produce something like some old piece of shit wood ship, and I want to kind of take that away from the player so that it just does it on its own. It's smart enough to do it on its own, sort of. But at the same time, it's kind of a necessity to probably have it in there. So the other thing we're going to want to have, this is going to be this is going to have so much fucking information on it. Then another thing we're going to want to have then is another checkbox that's like produce bare minimum. Produce as needed, we'll say. So what it will do is we'll put that checkbox will exist, and we'll check like if there's only one or something, it will only produce. If there's less than one or less, then it will produce. And this goes back to the scouting equipment issue. That if we go into the game and we look at our storage, they're going to produce 125 scouting equipment right now, and that's way too much. You would use up all of your remnants just on scouting equipment. Okay, not all of it, but you'd use a large quantity, and you don't need that much scouting equipment. You need probably like five a year or something, unless we turn up really high that failure rate that we put in there yesterday, which may be a thing that we want to do at the beginning, is have like a really high failure rate for your primitive crap. But we'll see. But I think we're going to need that then. Produce as needed. And then I think we're going to need a way to adjust the max number of workers there. I think we're going to have to do it. Because what happens now is we don't have anything built over here, but it would say that there's, 5. These are builders, is different than workers. But let's say that this says 5. 5 people will jump in and start working there. And once it's built, so this one's, that's not a good example. That only has 1. So 3 people will work here, and it will always fill up these 3 people if it can. And I think, and since you only have 10 people, Casper, thank you for the follow. How are you doing today? I don't see any. Let me double check something over here. All right. So let's build something else. I gave myself a ton of influence so I could build whatever we needed for this test. Yeah, so here, this is a pretty good, Leo, how's it going? This is a pretty good example here of what I'm talking about. So we only currently have 3 buildings built, and you're going to want to build a lot more than 3. And we've already ran out of workers, because that's part of the whole thing, is everyone's dead, and you only have a few people left. And that's what you kind of want to have to juggle this thing. I'm making a 2D 4X strategy game that's open source. And right now we're working on improving these things, which is, this is all like prototype graphics, but improving how these county improvements work, where this is, like buildings and stuff. These are all buildings. I call them county improvements because some of them are not going to be buildings. And originally I was calling them buildings. 6 dot. That's some dedication. Hopefully you have the skip forward button ready, the L on YouTube, and skip forward. It's only 10 seconds though. Let's see. So this is what I'm talking about. We want to. So if we have this set up, they're gonna work. It's hard to understand because oh no, oh we found a bug. All right, we gotta fix this. Let me take a screenshot of this. This is in Spanish right now because it's easy to tell what needs translating. If there's, this is a bug, but if this was in English, it might be harder to tell. But on here, that threw me off what I was talking about. Oh, this is not working either. I thought we fixed these. All right, we're gonna have to fix this stuff. Improvement, Fisher's Shed. We're gonna fix these right now. I gotta be on top of this shit, otherwise. Have you ever done that? You're playing like a video game and and you see something like this. I think I saw something like this yesterday. I did. I was playing CK3, and where was it? It was this exact thing, except it was all lowercase. It was like on one of the main panels. I was playing the Game of Thrones mod, and I saw one of these, and I was like, God damn it. Not that I have anything to do with it, but I wasn't like upset, making it sound like I was pissed. But I know that they probably just had a typo in here somewhere. And then I was like, should I put in like a bug report? But I've noticed for a while I was doing that. I was putting in bug reports because I stream on my other channel, indie games mostly, and I was putting in bug reports. And so I was doing it all the time. In fact, there was this one game that had a bug report button in the game, and I was using it all the time, and he took the bug report button out of his game because I reported like 30 bugs. But anyways, when I report the bugs, generally the developers get upset. They don't like it. So I didn't report the bug that I found in systematic must know every detail of game. Oh, one day, right? Oh my God, here's another one. I wonder what happened. I don't know if I ever check these ones though. So let's take a screenshot of it. Let's fix these things. Let's fix these first. And then we'll get back to what I was working on. This one is they're all pretty much the same. They're all pretty much the same words that are not working. Here, I had this open yesterday, so. Let's see. First, we need to see the improvements. Oh, you know what it is? So this has been a thing that I rename this from county improvement just to improvement because I can't think of a faction improvement. And so I originally had them called county improvements because there's two different like levels, county and faction level. But then I was like, no, and then I recently changed this. That's what happened. And I renamed this from county improvement, converted warehouse, whatever. So probably the issue is somewhere in our county improvement thing. No? Whoops. Yeah, that one's okay. Those are all okay. I guess I should make sure that they're actually the same. I usually copy and paste them. Scouting equipment workshop converted warehouse converted. Oh, I see a typo right here though. This is wrong. Fucking Excel. Where did it go? There's some double click thing on Excel where it bumps you to the top. Yeah, this had a typo in it. Improvements. Converted warehouse. Fisher's shed. Oh shit, that was the description had a typo in it. Go back to this. And go back to this. And go back to this. Gotta move my Excel thing so I can see chat over here. How's the game gonna work? What do you mean? Improvement. Fisher's shed. I don't think you can put a return at the end of this. Oh, maybe you can. No, you can't. Garden. Improvement. Garden. Lumberjack station. Most of these are also not what we're really going to call these things. Lumberjack station. I think I copied and pasted these things, except that one typo was not. Well, was it there? It is in here. So I did actually copy and paste this. How are you going to play it? Do you mean like on what platform? It's going to be a PC game, but or do you mean like, so like on here, it's basically like a Paradox. It's similar to a Paradox game. It's inspired by them. Inspired by Paradox games. So, you like click on a county, you have stuff. We don't have a faction panel yet. There is going to be a faction panel, but it's actually not, we're not to the point where it matters. So I haven't put it in yet, but it's very soon it's going to matter. You're going to have like policies to set your county. These are all color coded. You're going to start out with one county. Right now we only have 7 counties for testing, but each one of these will start out as one county. And I keep talking about like how I'm just throwing in features, ridiculous features, and so I want to also have like one day add in like druidic factions and vampire factions and et cetera, like all these different faction types. But at the beginning, we were just going to be a post-apocalyptic game. So you click around on stuff, you adjust your what you're building. You can spawn guys and move them places very quickly. Yeah, Casper. Yeah, just go back to the beginning. I have like the joke, Leo, is that I have like 170 of these things, of these videos that are like 3 hours long. But no, so that's basically how it's going to work. It's going to be all of North America, though. It's not going to just be these little guys. And the reason why I'm not doing the whole world is because I noticed in Paradox games they start to slow down. like computers can't handle it, and those are like pro developers, I assume, who would know how to optimize. So I'm trying to limit the scope of the size, and then if that all works fine, we could always add in, South America and whatever, but limit the number of counties because I noticed that things kind of fall apart in Paradox games, especially Victoria 3. Holy shit! I finally finished a Paradox game. It was Victoria 3, and at the end, it was just miserable. The last 5 years, it was just, speaking of these things, where you can see the code on the screen, it was just everywhere. Shit wasn't working. It was on the fastest speed, but it was not going the fastest speed. There's a thing in Victoria 3 in the upper left where it shows like your prestige amount. Wildly different, second by second. Win, how's it going? Fast-paced action, yeah. Yeah, I need to have like some sort of clicker game or something that is exciting. So let's see. What are we doing? We're going to fix this thing. So let's look at improvement, lumberjack station. This is also, I think I just haven't done this yet. So, and I'm pretty sure I don't have this open. This is the event thing. Currently it's set up so that there's like a lot of events that are popping up. And we're not going to have it that many. It's going to be easier to find this shit over here. Over here. Yeah, no problem. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. I like to talk, so we need to put in. How's this going to work? So what that's doing, we need to translate what is passed into here. Is that how that's going to work? I think we do. So let's look for add log. I'm doing good. Yesterday this happened too. Yeah, so like this needs to be translated. I had a headache when I woke up. I don't know what's going on here. We need this to be inside the squigs though. And so I think we're gonna have to go through all of these. In fact, this isn't gonna work at all. Let's fix this. So we might, and I actually should have said this at the beginning of the stream, we might just be doing localization and like tooltips today. It usually slows things down so much that it's like until everything's translated. But right here, we'll translate that. Since I have to go to every one of these and fix them, we gotta translate this shit anyways. Actually, I don't need this. Has been completed research. That's a terrible sentence. Let's fix that sentence while we're here too. Phrase. We could say, I think I stuck research at the end of that because there was some confusion. There's like a bug. Has been completed. Has been completed. Then we'll bring this over here and we'll go yes. We're gonna have to do that thing, I think. You know what it was? I think I can just put that in actually, and we'll see. We'll have to do some research. Yeah, and there's there's certain streams and certain 3-hour periods that I've worked on and pretty much got nothing done. And so the one good thing with I don't know if this is gonna do what I think it's gonna do. The one good thing about translating stuff is that it's pretty obvious that you've accomplished something. let's test this one thing before I get too deep into this, because this is going to get a little weird because there's going to be a lot of things here. Let's go up to this. This is saved. I need to translate this to Spanish, though. Translate. And there we go. I don't know if I want to put periods and stuff in there. I think there's other ones. We went over this yesterday a little bit. Got to close this thing. Then we got to re-import this thing. And I need to drink some coffee too. We're going to do this. We're going to do some research here in a second. All right, research. Even with that all fucked up, I can still click on stuff, luckily. That would have been a bummer if I couldn't. Is now researching basic storage. Has been completed. So that is part of that is not working. I think what we got to do, and it's a pain in the ass. It's actually, I guess it's not that bad. I think what I did before was I put like, we need a string over here. And I did this yesterday, but I thought that I found a workaround for this. And then we go this. And then we go like this. Whoops, I got two things here. And then I did translate. Whoops, I didn't put my squigs in here. Completed string. I think that was how the workaround that I did to make this thing translate how I wanted. But I thought I figured out there was that wasn't necessary. And there was another way to do this where I could continue. You know, it's always been weird how it translates. Like I couldn't translate like phrases with bunches of things in there. We're going to research this thing. Mary Lee. I was like, why is this taking so long? Because the speed isn't enough. So that worked, except that this is a capital. Capital. Since this is a CSV, when every time I open it, this thing, we lose all of our formatting here. Yeah, this shouldn't be a capital. All right, so that's we'll just do it that way. I swear there is something I figured. Whoops, I just clicked on something. Not to do this. If I search for, I think I use the, whoops, I think I use a capital S. This is the thing we did yesterday where I did the same thing, but that half-ass thing. Maybe we will look at the thing you guys were talking about yesterday. Oh shit, this has a capital S in it. And I use that a lot. We can get rid of that. We can just put the quotes and the dollar sign if we needed. Yeah, I use that all the time. But if I fixed it, then it wouldn't be that way anyways. It would, we could search TR, there's no dot. we could do this. That's just a straight up variable. This is the confirmation thing we did yesterday. This is the thing we just did. This is the thing we worked on yesterday. What is this? That's the thing we worked on yesterday. That's just a variable being. It's fine with it. Translates the variables fine in line, and it translates them in. Yeah, but I can't do that one because it won't. I want it to show the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like if I click that other one, it doesn't work. It's not gonna. This one it did it. So why did this one work? Population list. This is population list title. What's special about this? Nothing. Population list. Maybe it's not. No, it is. This is what it's talking about. There, I assume, word population. Yep, and so it's translating the word population. So this one did it just by, I didn't have to put a variable for that. I wonder why it's let me do it on this one. We're putting that into a text thing. So I'm passing, how is this working? For the event thing, wherever the fuck that is, I have 3 rows. We gotta close stuff. Resource panel, we probably don't need that. Research, event log. So we pass in this string. I wonder what this string is. Like every time, because it's different things are being passed in. Let's go events. Let's do this. $, events, log, string, new, log. I'm wondering if we can just put a TR in front of this and have it translate everything that's in there. That would make life so much easier. Because what I mean, it should be what we're seeing in the event thing. You know, like in the event log, it should be, that's what we're seeing. It should be what is coming through there. We'll research something. Christina Gray, huh? So like this one. What happens if we just go like here? Oh, we have a thing right here. Let's get rid of this. That's a bad GD print there. What happens if we just go TR this thing? What would happen if we did that? And then we don't have to, well, I mean, we still need to fix them probably. But yeah, if we could do it, if we could, do we need to fix them? Yeah, we still need to fix them. This thing fucking died again. We gotta re-import that. I don't think it can translate things inside of a string. Like it only translates the whole thing. And I think that's kind of part of the problem here. This one's easier to test, so let's do this one. Is now researching. Is that a... I don't think that was a capital I, though. Yeah, so this one will be what we're testing. We'll test this one because it's easier to, you know, I can just click two things. There's less clicks, and that's the whole plan here. So according to that one thing, let's put this in here. In that one thing, we're going to do phrase is now researching. Let's see. If we put this in here, all I did on that other one, this has to be a squigs in here. Is that how I did that? Where the fuck was that thing? That was under, this was in quotes though. It was quotes inside quotes. Maybe that's, I don't know what I just hit there. Maybe that was the issue, was it wasn't, man, I can't remember where that was. God damn it. TR, that's a C. Let me look here. Inside that and phase, yeah, but there's another way. That's not what this one is what I was looking at. So what's special about this, that this works? Let's go back to phrase is now. Let's put this down here because I just want to look at it. This all looks the same. Like I'm looking at, what I'm looking for is like, there's no $sign at the beginning of this or something, you know, where this is different than, because we know this one works in line with just the space, and this is, but that other one wasn't working. So let's do this. Let's comment that out. We also need to translate this one because this is the name of the research, which should already be in there. Whoops. And let's make sure that this is the same phrase, is now researching, is now researching. Let me copy and translate this. Translate. Once again, this isn't going to really work though, because they might not be in the, you can't translate phrases like that. It doesn't work. It's just not how languages are. Yeah, so let's hope. Like I think so. Even with the second pair of eyes, they look the same. I guess the thing that's different on this one is we do have a plus over here. Like that shouldn't matter though. That's. But all right. Oh shit, this isn't gonna work. What was that bridge error? That's a new one. We gotta close this thing. I mean, we will assign one anyways, but it's not gonna work. Yeah, we gotta stop this thing, re-import this thing, and then run it. I'm gonna take a break here in like 5 minutes. I can't believe I still have half my coffee left. I woke up at 9:30, which is really late for me. Usually I wake up at 7, which is the time of me going to work. Okay, so that did work this time. So maybe there was maybe it was the re-import thing that was the issue. Like I just got to re-import all the time. I don't think. Yeah. Casper, I think I need one of those. Uh, you need like some motivation sometimes to keep like I promise myself some ice cream or something when if I get something finished. I'm not gonna do that, but you know what I'm saying. All right, so that looks right. Is that a capital I? I can't see it. Uh, Basic. What were we researching? We were researching. If only I could speak Spanish. I think that's just an L, and it just looks like a capital I, which is the bane of my existence. So at my work, I name these certain things LT. It's all lowercase LT, and I didn't really think anything of it. But everyone was always typing in IT, and every time, and I was like, why is everyone typing IT? Because, I'm in the IT department. But it looks like, yeah, huge issue. Didn't know I was setting myself up there. It's too late now, though. All right, so we fixed that one. We got to go to all of these. We're going to go to all of these add log things. And we're going to fix, we don't need this shit. We'll leave that there for now. But it doesn't work. We'll just put this back here since it doesn't work. You know what? Let's see if that has any effect on anything. Assign to research. We should probably turn off Fred King. That's a very generic name, Fred. I really don't like that this is a capital for some reason, and this isn't. I don't know why that's bothering me so much. We're not going to worry about it, I guess, but it shouldn't be it should be a capital though. Did I not do? Let's see here. That would be basic something. That is a research. Oh, but so it made a capital B. For basic research. I wonder if Spanish is you don't capitalize something. But it is a title. It's like a name. All right, I'm not gonna worry about it. T and P. All right, are you in the UK? I haven't heard that before. Let's see here. Sort of, except I have my coffee here. It's smoke and smoke. That's it. I go and smoke a cigarette usually. Half a cigarette. Let's go back to our add log thing and let's try to get one more of these done before I take a quick break. So then this should work. I don't know why this is not working. I mean, putting this in here. Maybe I didn't put a quotes around it? I don't know. It would have told me. Poland? The English stereotype that they drink a lot of tea. Maybe it's this period. No. Let's find out. Let's comment this out just because. This is, yeah, let's see if it's, do we have this? This doesn't have an X. Maybe that's what I should be doing though, is whenever, I should just make sure that thing is, make sure that this thing is re-imported even if it doesn't have an X on it, because that could be part of the problem, is that this thing's breaking. So let's assign somebody to here, And then that one still worked. We'll kick this to 8. We got to fix this amount of research thing. I saw a completo. It worked that time. It's got to be the import thing that was throwing it off. So we can get rid of this crap because I don't really want to have extra shit if I don't have to. There we are. Yeah. Some of these are gonna change too, which is a bummer. Like these are like kind of placeholder logs. Yeah. Has missed though. That's probably will stick around with an exclamation point. The other thing I was thinking about after I stopped streaming yesterday about the question mark issue is I could have just rewritten that log so it wouldn't be that way. Has missed. Why don't we just do word missed? And then we'll just go missed, and then we'll translate that over here. And we'll bring over, oh, but interestingly enough, speaking of capitals, Excel thinks this should be capitalized. Missed in Spanish. Which is strange, but I don't know the rules of whatchamacallit, of Spanish punctuation. And then that shouldn't matter. This does matter, though. We're back to the same shit. There should be an upside down exclamation point at the beginning of this sentence. So what we'll do is make that a period. That will solve that problem. And we'll have to get into a war. Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be that's going to be a huge issue. And I kind of was fucking around with like a text game. I didn't get that into it. But I wanted to have all these like giant paragraphs of like descriptions and stuff. And when I was thinking about how you would translate that, but what I wanted is the description. So it would have a description. So have you ever played? I might have it on my desktop, and I can show you exactly what I mean. Oh, it's on my other. No, it's right here. So in Angband, if you do, we're gonna do a new character, and then I haven't played this in a while. We'll pick a human, sure. And then a mage, whatever. Standard roller. Okay, so this thing right here, you are, whoops, get out of here. You are one of several children of a serf. You're a black sheep of your family, blah, 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 blah. You have brown eyes. I'm assuming that this thing, so this is always random. These things, if we re-rolled, we would get something else. See, and like how it says, so this sentence, you are one of several children of a yeoman. It's just putting in changing that variable right there, It's pretty basic. Oh, but then one of several. So anyways, I was thinking about this, like how do you translate this thing? Because you can't just translate the word yeoman because it's not, that sentence isn't going to be the same in other languages. And you can't just translate these, so you have to translate the whole thing, but you don't know what the whole thing is until later. And then you have to build. So then like if you use this, you would have to have a phrase that included every different random option to translate this. You know what I mean? So you'd have to have a phrase the way I'm doing it here. that was this exact thing for it to translate the sentence correctly, and so that in the whole thing just kind of falls apart. And I'm surprised that there isn't a better way to do this, and maybe there is, and I just don't know. Uh, but I like it. See, this one's illegitimate, so you need to translate this whole sentence, but you can't because you don't know what it is until after it's been created. So you'd have to create the sentence, but then you'd have to translate it, but then you would have to have a phrase for it. Yeah, the whole thing is a clusterfuck. The minute you start getting into localization, I wonder if I could change. Can we go back from here? Can we go to options? We got graphics. I was seeing if I could pick a different language. I don't see. Yeah, it's just a total clusterfuck right off the bat. I'm gonna take a quick break. Um, Let me put this up though, and let me pause my music that you guys can't hear, and then let me put in my break timer, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. All right, I am back. Let's see what we got here. We translated. Oh, I gotta start my music that you guys can hear. We translated some stuff, and then I keep pointing out the issues with this. I'm curious what ChatGPT says. Um, when translating, when doing localization in games, how do people translate randomly generated phrases? Because these phrases often consist of multiple letters that need to be make sense of combinations. This is how modular. Yeah, that's not going to work though. During development, the phrase construction is designed to be localization first. This means avoiding structures that rely too heavily on word order. Yeah, it's just a bunch of fucking emojis. Just make it a bunch of. What did I? What? Somebody. What did I read? There was some game. It was like we added emojis to chat or something. I was like, oh god, what was it? It was some game I play. Uh, concatenation considerations. Is that what this language different how words can be combined? Yeah. What works in English might not work in other languages due to word order. Yeah, this is what we're talking about here. That's the testing and iteration after initial translation. Extensive testing is done. Well, yeah. Fallback phrases for some complex phrases. A fallback phrase that works in most cases might be machine learning and AI. No, I don't want to use that. That would be a whole pile of shit that I don't want to step into. Each of these is care is taken to ensure that work together grammar in the target language. Yeah, well, all right. So basically, it says you're just in for a terrible time, which is what I'm discovering. Which I mean, it's pretty obvious that that's not going to work well. Translations are going to be a pain in the ass, and probably what we'll have to do. So this thing is, I don't know Spanish either. I mean, I know like 3 words of Spanish. I should know more, but I can't even like use that as let's see. Ask about phrases with randomly generated parts like names or titles. What? So names don't matter because you don't translate. You're talking about people's names. What about with randomly generated titles? But those would, well, no, they might not be at the front every time. I wonder if it can. I wonder if it knows what Angband is. It might, because that thing's been around for 150 years. Each component of the title, Mighty Slayer of Dragons, is translated independent. Yeah, but I don't think that's going to work. Translators need to ensure that each component, well in isolation, can be combined with other cultural contexts. Yeah, it's see. There's so many issues with translation. Use of placeholder tokens. Some system placeholder tokens. Yeah, here. This is where emojiing the whole thing. But I bet you even emojis are different. So this has come up a lot in my day life. So when my mom sends me the thumbs up emoji, I just want to punch her in the face. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why are you so rude? And I've heard that is a an age thing. That the thumbs up emoji is considered rude only to certain age groups. And I think I'm too old. I shouldn't think it's insulting. And of course, I would never punch my mom in the face. She lives in a different state. But you know what I'm saying. Anyways, yeah, so I'm sure there's different emojis also. So you couldn't even get away with it all symbols. I think I should just not worry about it for now, and then we'll have to. It's just going to be another thing that we're gonna have a problem with. I should put it like Chinese in here or something. I wonder what if I try to translate this to, let's make this bigger, to Chinese or something, Mandarin, what it would give me. I don't have that. Polish, maybe? Yeah. You speak Polish, I assume, right? It'd be probably rough to live there, but you use the same alphabet. I was trying to think of a different, I guess Russian, but I noticed that Mandarin wasn't on here. I'm wondering if it won't. Cantonese. That's good enough, but see, that's even more of a how am I even going to tell it all if it's even close? You know what I mean? Like where I can say like, okay, this is, somewhat. Oh, does it? Let's go. Man, there is a lot of things. I think I'm just gonna hope and dream here. Man, I feel like I already did word mist too, but I guess not. All right. We could put a third one. I wonder if it would. Nah, that's going to slow me down. Sorry, I'm going to keep it just as Spanish for now, and I think we're just going to deal with it. We're going to have to. It'd be very hard to translate. Don't tell me that. We want easy. No, I think it's just going to be, there's a lot of times, because I'm in a lot of indie game Discords, like I usually go into like a Discord for the indie game before I stream it. And that's a lot of times what they are asking for is localization. So a lot of times they don't do words unless they have to. It's all phrases like this, that they're having the person manually translate for them. So I guess that will be something that I'll deal with in the future. Anyways, back to what we were doing here. Let's see. We got to go through and translate the isn't scared. Isn't scared. So this is, they roll a cool check. Sure, that will work. Phrase isn't scared. Isn't scared. And then let's just get a bunch of these on the list and we'll translate them all at once. This is going to be phrase. I should have copied it just to include any typos that I had. Oh, I was looking at this other one. I was like, we're just putting the last name, but no, we are doing both here. We need the squigs to be here. We need this to be here. We need this to be here. We're going to get rid of this exclamation point. We're going to go this, period. Yeah, copy paste is way better. What are we missing here? Comma. We're missing another quote. And what else? Has failed their cool roll. We're going to actually just copy. Has lost. What a pain in my ass. All right. We're going to make this a period as well. Paste this here. Failed cool roll. And next, That's the double click thing I was talking about that I hate in Excel. Put this here. Squigs, TR, the tedious stuff. Oh, I forgot my quotes. And we need another squigs here, and this is need to paste or a period. They have lost. Let's rewrite this so that the morale damage is at the end, and then we can do a. So we're saying they failed their cool roll, and then at the end of that we have another sentence that says they have lost whatever 10 morale. We could go. I just had a thought here. Do we have? I think morale is just right now. Oh, right. Everything got closed. I think morale is just its own. It's not like a thing, a resource. This should be pinned over here. And I usually keep, whoa. I usually keep it over here. We'll put it right there for now. Yeah, I think morale is just, yeah, it's just a thing. It's just an int. It's not like a resource or anything. I was going to pull the name is what I was looking at. Do you think about string format? That's the perfect case use. I haven't even looked at that yet. This is the perfect case use is this thing. Oh, and then you put the thing at the end you're talking about. So you can do that in here. It's so like kind of like this, but it's not that. You would put the variable at the end, you mean? I was just thinking about, I don't want it, but morale actually probably is used elsewhere. So we could use unless it's a title, then it needs to be a capital. But it's easier if I just rewrite this phrase. Phrase would be, they lost. Yeah, but that doesn't solve the issue. You can put in, and let's look at the translation document. Translate. There's some things you can put in here. You know how I found what you could put in there last time was I found some video where the guy had a list. It wasn't in the documents for some strange reason. It was somewhere else. Yeah, that's not where I want to be. So you can actually put in kind of like how you're saying over there, the one before the one second to last thing. What I was thinking, yeah, what I was thinking is having morale as its own word, because I bet you I use that all over the place. And then before that, what I was thinking is we could do whatchamacallit. Put the name of it in there. Go down, you motherfucker. What is wrong with you? I really need to. That's all fucked up. I really need to Oh. It thinks I want to translate this whole thing. That's what its problem is. I really need to reinstall Windows. Oh, here's this. Oh, no, I did that last time. Yeah. No, no, I appreciate the because maybe I will do it that way. I'm trying to remember. So there was trying to remember the guy's name. I don't think I follow him on YouTube because if I could find that video, um, he's like this scruffy dude. I could skip, with the L. I could skip ahead. Um, let's see here. Godot translate. It's not this guy. Oh, it might be this guy. It's this guy. It's a different scruffy guy than I have to mute this. It's a different scruffy guy than I was thinking of actually. Uh, he has like a list in here. Whiskey Barrel Studios of the different things. Go back to that, buddy. He's using. He was having issues using Excel, so he's using whatchamacallit. Of course, I paused it with his thing over the top. Um, and the percentage S is like it puts in the next string. So I could do it that way. It puts in this, the same thing that you're talking about. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. And this is going to add it in to the end. So there's more to. I think I'm just not knowledgeable, and I need to find where there's an actual list. So this is how he was doing it with. It puts in the string, and then you put the string at the end. Kind of like you were saying. But there's more to this. I wonder if he has a better list. Wait, what's that right there? See, his is lowercase because he's using GD script. Percent %S is a C++ thing. That's quite possible because so Godot's sitting on top of C++. No, C? I don't remember. Okay, I guess he didn't have a full list. I swear, maybe he did and I just skipped through it. But there was a list somewhere. I haven't looked at this in ages. Of all the different things. And it's weird it's not in the docs. Add message. One of the things that I hear a lot about is that Godot has very good documentation, and I do not agree. I do not agree at all. I should probably be, once again, reporting my stuff through here. Reporting my issues that I have with the documents. I feel like I have to track down somebody's crazy post from 2014 that has the information that I actually need. We can try one of the percent things since I haven't used that before, just for the fuck of it. Why not, right? Let's do it. So this is going to be, what is this phrase that I'm working on here? Let's copy this whole thing over. And go back to here, and we'll call this phrase lost morale. And then we're going to paste this in here, and we're going to do it's C++, I think, that it's sitting on top of, except that there's a different, I think it was a lowercase s, except it's a different, oh shit, I shouldn't have sorted that, motherfucker. I have to do these individually. Oh, now we're going for Chinese. That's probably would make it very confused. I just hit S in here. And isn't scared. Oh man, that time it went down. I hate that. Hate it. Did you translate for me here? And I think that was the only two. Then let's translate this and let's see what it said. Okay, so it got rid of those. So this isn't going to work easily. You know, he's using GD script. You're right. He's using GD script, so it might not know what that is. I don't feel like. I don't even know where this is. Where this would go. See this. Now we're back to this other problem of I have to manually type that shit in, and I don't know where that goes. All right, let's just rewrite this sentence. Yeah, exactly. I don't know where that the percent S goes. Who knows? All right, so let's just rewrite this sentence. They have lost. We can say morale lost. And then we can just do this. We'll put a period here. Bam. Save that. And then we'll just translate this thing. We'll go back to here. And we'll rewrite that because I don't want it the opposite. We'll do morale lost. We'll do this. Underscore. Whoops. Underscore morale. Whoops. Morale lost. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of future stuff that is going to, I'm going to regret it later. I'm going to be like, why did I do it? The same as like last time where I was wondering why that, whoops, that one shit was the way it was. And I actually, after I was done streaming for like an hour later, I was like, man, why didn't I just fix that in the code? Because then I also wouldn't have to go through all that shit every time we add something to the top bar. But all right, so we need to put in here. And the key is I don't give a shit too much about typos in this part, but these I really need to make sure that there's no typos because I can change the other stuff without having to go through the code. TR quote squigs. All right. We've done 3 things. We're going to get nothing done today. That's okay. Add log. That's their names, which is fine. I still kind of regret not having their full name in there. You know, we could put like a getter setter that when you change their first or last name, it would change a variable that is their full name. Man, why didn't I do that? All text. Okay, so we got this all text thing in here that we need to get rid of. You know what we could do? Let's just do it right now since how much time do I have? An hour and a half. We can do it. We can do it. Let's look at this all text thing. It should be up here. How much shit do I have in here? Kind of a lot. But we already got rid of this stuff. Yeah, let's just delete this file. Well, I know it's pretty. Thank you for the respect, and yeah, I often think like, what am I going to give up on this shit? But no, I can't give up. I just got to keep going through and improving things. Okay, so now that I deleted that file, this all text file, it says there's only 3 of them, 4 of them. Come on, we know that there's more than that. We'll just translate all of this shit. I probably shouldn't have deleted that though. Let's do this. I can bring it back, I think. Okay, I can't. It's gone. That's fine. I was going to say I don't remember what this is supposed to say, but we will, because I could have copied over. Whatever. I've always wanted to make a game like this, and I don't have very much programming experience, but 100 years ago I used, and I bring this up a lot. What the fuck is it called? It was called, it's a compiler, Code Warrior, I believe it was called. And it was so much more difficult to program because you had to compile everything, and you couldn't do it like while you were, you couldn't just hit play, you had to compile it. And it took forever. It didn't tell you, like, this red lines didn't exist back then. And it seems so much easier now. Lost Battle is what we're going to call this. And we're going to say so-and-so, because this is the person's name, has lost the battle. And then we'll leave that there. And then we're going to copy this over. And we're going to put this in here. And we're going to go TR quotes. There we go. No, there we don't go. And then we're going to copy this because it looks like we have this exact same thing down here. We're going to go like this. Except I think I got an extra thing here. Need another quote. What the fuck did it just happen here? This went down here. And this, we don't need this. We have extra stuff there. There we go. Yeah, I like Dominions. The game Dominions I've been playing for 20 years or something. Oh, we have the same thing right here. And I always wanted to make a game like that. Oh, you're just gonna do it for me? I like when it gives me suggestions and then it like takes it away really quick because I've moved the mouse. All right, so this looks like we're in good shape there. It makes you appreciate video games to a point. So what is this? This is a title that says visitor list. I wonder where the population... Okay, so I haven't used this in forever. Is this still in use? This is talking about... I wish I could run my game. Maybe I can. I don't think I can. No. We gotta fix these first. Because I think this just says visitors. This is just a word. It just says visitors. I'm almost positive. It's for when you have visitors. 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 Now this looks like it's spelled wrong to me. No, it's right. Just occasionally, like words just stop looking like words to me. We're just gonna go here. Oh, it's fine. It's it doesn't really matter. So let's go. We need a squigs here, and we need a thing here. What do we got all the way over here? We got a plus. Okay, so we need a quote here. And I would bet we probably had a space there, unless the space is at the end. The space is at the end, so we don't need that space. We don't need this thing. What is going on here? All sorts of problems. We need this. We need this. And we need this. And we need this. And we need this. And we need this. We got something going wrong here. TR squigs. Now I need to have it in, I just changed one. It needs to be like this. What did I just mess up here? Oh, is there no dollar sign at the start? No, there's a dollar sign at the start. Let's see. Squigs, TR. I gotta put this quote back in. Quote. Are we in a thing? Oh, do I need an additional dollar sign at the beginning of this? There we go. There we go. An additional dollar sign there. And that is good to go. Now we gotta go to the next one here. I think this is the one we already fixed. This is the declaration of war. This goes to this is for the GD print, so we don't care about that one. Has declared war on, I actually think we're going to be using a lot. So let's go back to here. Do a phrase. Declared. Let's do has declared war. And then we'll do that. And then we'll do this. And then we're going to do our thing again. And we're going to go paste. Shit, I forgot the goddamn quotes again. And squigs. And we need another. You don't know what TR is today up here? What are we doing this in? Oh, is this a fucking, no. Is this a public class? I think it might be. It is. All right, so we'll do that translation server thing. Lation server, translates. And hopefully that will work. Declare war confirmation. Okay. This one should be a phrase. And it's going to be let's declare, we're going to call it declare war. Declare war. Confirmation. There we go. And then we're going to say, do you want to declare, if I can please stop typing, you guys can't see how many times I've typoed declare, like pretty much every time I put the L before the C. Do you want to declare war on? And then we'll do this. And then we're going to need a thing here. And we're going to need the translation thing. Get the fuck out of here. And we're going to translate this thing. And we need the goddamn quotes. And we need more, less quotes and more quotes. And another one of these, another one of these. And then get this shit out of here. You can tell this is old because I didn't put a thing at the beginning. I didn't use any of these things. It's probably written in specifically so I could just add it with the plus at the end, because I rarely used to use the squigs and stuff, the dollar sign thing. I used to always use just like toString and all that shit. Okay, phrase declared war. Phrase has declared war. What do we got down here? This is just a GD print. Line 13 to 12 to copy. This is a GD print. Wait, this is just it doesn't need to be translated. That's just for me. I mean, I guess other people. GD prints that we don't. It'd probably be confusing if it was. I mean, it'd be nice for the player if they wanted to look in the logs, but it'd be confusing for me if this just goes to the console. If I was trying to debug in Spanish and it was in Spanish or whatever. All right, let's build this again because I don't remember which ones I've fixed here. One left. What do we got? Okay, recruit hero convert. Look how I did this. I guess this is just really long, so I put it down here. This is going to be a phrase. It's going to be recruit. Yeah, we'll just do the same thing. Recruit hero confirmation and recruit. Just making sure that was spelled right. Copy that. Are you sure you want to recruit? And then we can kind of do this. This is not a public class, so we don't have to do that. I'm curious, I keep thinking about the abstract classes that was mentioned yesterday. How they would improve things. All right, we have a space at the end. That looks right. That looks good. So that's the thing, and that's the learning the new things, and I always get all excited. I mention this all the time. I get all excited about anything I learn that's new, and then I go through and try to use it a bunch, and 90% of the shit isn't not applicable for what I'm using. Like events, man, I try to use events so much. I loved events for a while, and then they all didn't work how I thought they would work. So now I only use them, hopefully, when they're needed. But I wish I had a thing where I was positive. The best way to do it was like with dependency injection, for example, that there was a certain way where I knew it would be the best way to do it to test things out. I'm pulling these back up because I don't know if I fixed them all. I guess we can just run it and find out here. And I don't think I went through all of the add logs. I'm almost positive. So we gotta do that actually first. Let's go through the add logs here. Add log has been completed. Translations, add log has hits. Here's one. That is probably useful or needed. Has hits. Has hits. And then we're going to go tr squigs tr has, what did I just do, this phrase? I don't know why I'm typing this in here. I think it's on my clipboard, honestly. Nope. Let's go over here. Phrase has hits. And then we need another squigs here. We're just going to make this a period. Save that problem. Let's go through the rest of these. Word missed. Let's move this back over. I don't have that many logs. Some of them are just kind of for testing. This is one. Has been completed. Did I write a phrase for completed? Has been completed. We already did that. So we can just go. Stupid. all these quotes and stuff. And next, amount of research. So this, no, this is not the spot where there's another spot that I, oh yeah. I've always hated this sentence is so terrible. The amount of research Bill did is such a strange way to do this. I'm gonna search on here to make, well, not on here. Make sure we haven't done this amount. Whoops. Amount. Nope. All right, so we got to do this one. Amount of research completed. What is this? So this is a log, so we're going to want it to be somewhat, motherfucker. Amount of research completed. So-and-so completed number research. Bill completed 6 research. Amount of, I'm just trying to think of a better way to write this. We probably actually could start commenting out at some of these GD prints too while I'm seeing them, so I'm not filling up the logs so much. Let's put this. Yeah, we want the player to know who completed it. There's another way. Actually, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make this say research completed. Research. I think we might have already. Okay, completed. I'm searching in this Excel. Has been completed. That's it. All right, so we need to do one for this. Phrase. It doesn't say what he's researching. It's kind of a weird log. Let's fix this. I think you're going to want to know what they're researching. I think this might have been like another, I think this was a test actually, just to kind of fill up the logs because we were having a log issue. Bill. Once again, if this is a bunch of words that are translated individually, it's going to turn into garbage. This is a weird log, actually. This is going to go every day. It's going to put one of these in, and it's going to put this in when it's a person working in the research office or a hero, because hero is going to research without the research office. So it could put 2 logs in every day. We probably want to actually stagger out when shit gets completed too, so that it's not like every day 50 things go on the log every morning at 1 a.m. But that's a problem for the that's a problem for the future. I was more looking at like what does the player need for this? They probably want to know the person's name and the research that they're researching, which we know the county population data container knows that. We could actually, this probably look better with a space. You know, we don't need shit here translated. What we need is, let's make this different. like this, if we go like this, that's all the information we need. Actually, let's make this a dash, and let's make this. We don't need any amount research completer for player name. Not the player, but yeah, I see where you're going, but not the player name. But I think we don't even need to say, like, this is going to be obvious. Maybe? Let's see what it looks like. I guess, yes, let's finish. Actually, let's finish the add log thing. And we'll get back and we'll be overly critical in a second. I'm talking about myself. I'm very overly critical on everything, and I get stuck in, oh, I should have commented out that thing. Stuck in the weeds of, like, you know, should this period be here? And it's just a huge waste of my time. Has declared. Okay, that's that. I think we're getting there. Is retreating. That is something we definitely need. Phrase is retreating. Is retreating. Except I probably want to spell this right. Is retreating. Once again, my everything is just looking like symbols again. I have not been able to figure out why my brain starts doing that eventually. We don't need the translation server in the player controls. No. I don't know what I hit to do that. Let me copy this over. We gotta... On my other channel, I stream... Maybe we do need this. What is this thing? Player controls is not a public class. No. Look at all this stuff that's in here. We really aren't using global space? I feel like we use that in the map editor, but I guess not. On my other channel, like I said, I stream a lot of indie games, and I try to be, like, nicely critical, but it doesn't always work. We're going to change this to a period, too. It doesn't know what this is for some reason, so I guess we will use... What type of node are we using up at the top here? Static body 2D, huh? Huh. My cat just ran by. I don't know what it's... He's such a grumpy motherfucker. Let's put this down here. We got a space there. We got the dollar sign. Okay, is retreating. We got that over there. Add log. Where are we going? We're almost done with the add log stuff. Is retreating. I should, like I said, be commenting out all these GD prints that I don't need right now. And then we're going to get a bunch of bugs. I know we are. There's no way around it. There's going to be all sorts of... you know, I am going to comment this out. We don't need that right now. We'll figure it out later. We probably will need it in 5 minutes from now. All right, I think we've been through everything. No. Skill data. So this isn't a resource. So this one, we can do the same thing. We'll need learned, but I think we can rearrange it so we just need one word. Word, learned, save. So this one is a resource, and I still had to do that, huh? Bill learned. So we got a skill name there. We can put kind of like a similar thing All right, I have this on my, I have something on my clipboard, so let's do this first. I guess we're doing the translation server. Whoops, translation server on here, and I need my quotes. Hopefully here, and we need another squigs. And what we're gonna do though is we're gonna go kind of like I did. I think that's what I should be doing, honestly, is trying to remove phrases whenever possible and just put like, you know, like a dash or something. Come here, motherfucker. Oh my god. All right, it's not gonna work. Okay, we're gonna just copy this whole thing and we're gonna put it right here. And we're gonna move this stuff around to where it's supposed to be. So we want this person's name. We want to get rid of this crap. And we want this dash skill name. We got an extra one of these things though. We got an extra space. This is, well, we can fix that later. And then we're gonna want this to be down here. This whole thing to be down here, honestly. We have this space up there. I think I was trying to not have the space at the end because then it's hard to tell. Then we're gonna put this here. So we have the dash, the skill name, learned, and then this we can put back here. And we don't need this thing. And then we can go like this and this. Jesus Christ. We need a thing here though. There we go. Fuck. So it will have his name, the skill, learned, this amount. All right, that should work. We're probably missing a space somewhere, but I think that should work. All right, I guess we weren't. There's got to be one more or two more. Yeah. So this person is another one. So, or this person, this line is where you don't learn anything. And I don't think we actually need this line in here. This is kind of for testing, and I wanted it on the event because I think we were kind of not able to tell if it wasn't really working, the roles, but I don't think you give a shit if they don't learn anything. So we probably could just comment this out for now, and then like in a couple of months when I stumble across this code again, just delete it. Like normal. We don't really need to put in the event log that someone didn't learn something. There we go. One more of those down the, I was gonna say down the drain, but it's no. Research amount. I think we've got them all now, for real this time. Except whatever. I think I just saw one, but let's hit play. Cat, what are you doing? He hasn't meowed. I noticed when I'm streaming, he's not much of a meower. I think I don't know. It's probably because I'm talking so much, but it generally seems like when my headset is on, he doesn't meow that much. Maybe he doesn't think I can hear him, but he definitely meows a lot. Like the minute I stop streaming and I'm just sitting there, I don't know how he would know that I was streaming, because he's a cat. But the minute I stop streaming, he was going to start meowing. He's going to just start flipping out. Oh, we got to do another thing here. I got to actually translate these. Oh, I put a period at the end of this. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to put the periods in the up. We want this. Sometimes it's a pain to select stuff in there for some reason. And look, it put the things. This isn't going to work though. I'm just not going to worry about it. These question marks shouldn't be here because there's a thing at the end. All right. Well, then we need to go like that. We need to stop this. This isn't going to work. We need to save this again. We need to close this. We need to go back to, it's up here somewhere. I was looking for that big X here. We're going to re-import this. And then we're going to hit play. And I'm going to take a break in a second here. He's just sitting there, my cat, that is. I thought I hit play, but I guess not. Why Spanish? Because Spanish is the second language that I know the most of, which is, like I said, like 5 words. But I should know more because I grew up in San Diego. Should know, and I've taken like Spanish in school and stuff, and didn't learn anything. It's kind of surprising that you can take a language in high school and not learn anything. I think I took a year of college Spanish too and didn't learn anything. Like, I don't know how that's even possible. I know in one of my, I think it was a high school class, they picked, like, they were teaching Spain Spanish, not Latin American Spanish, which was like, why? San Diego, I could see Mexico from one of my apartments, or it's actually a house I rented with friends. I could see Mexico. Why would you not teach Latin American Spanish? It's mind-boggling. All right, so let's just run some shit and see what. Oh, like right there, immediately we have a problem. So that is one of these. I'm going to take a quick break though, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me stop my music you guys can't hear, and then put on my break timer. All right, I will be right back. All right, I'm back. And what are we doing? We're fixing this thing. Rachel, her basic storage thing didn't work, huh? Research basic storage. Let's double check. Oh, I gotta start my music. There's just this deafening hum if I don't have music playing that you guys can't hear. Yell and learn over to the border. Probably. I've been to Mexico a bunch of times too, and I still didn't learn. Let's see. Where are we going to? Where is this? Wait, I'm just commenting out these things. We don't need these. This is going to be somewhere. Research basic storage. I guess we can search for that, right? Research basic storage. I don't think I can put this because I don't think it will find anything. Research basic storage. Is there a typo in there? You find this nowhere? Okay. So that means it's going to be a variable that we didn't, so that's going to be research name like this. This is going to be, man, that's going to be everywhere though. But what we could do is do, oh, nope, tr research name. I wonder if that one works. Maybe I have this in quotes or something. I know I just did that. There was a colon in there. A lot of colons. Yeah, colon isn't going to give us any. So it was under probably, well, we could do add log. See, all those don't have the translate thing in there, and I think that's going to be a problem. I think that's what we're, like this person's their name. That's the problem, is I don't have the TR thing. Their names we're not translating, but the other, this one we are. Yeah, I bet you that's what the problem is that we don't have here, like this one, improvement name, we're not translating. This is a different issue. So the thing is, I was thinking names don't need to be translated, but like their improvement names do. And I think that's what we just, yeah, here's another one. Their research, this is the one actually. Oh, this one doesn't know it. What is this in? Banker? The banker's a, yes, it is. It is a, whatchamacallit. That stuff. Then we need you to be in here. So we got to go back through these. And we're just looking for any names of variables that aren't people's names. So, you know, I was going to change it. So instead of, for a long time, I was just putting in, for the name, I always put what the name was. The faction name doesn't need to be, no. Like where it says county name and then faction name. And I was going to change that back to just doing .name with a lowercase n, because capital N is something else. I'm going back through here. But now I'm kind of thinking that it was better that I did that, because if I wanted to find like .name, it would be really hard. If I wanted to find .research name, it would be really hard to find it if it wasn't like there's improvement name, if they were all just .name. There's the translation of the research name. Look at this big old pile of dog shit. Translate. Translate. Sometimes I use first name, last name too, and sometimes I use just the first name, which I probably should make that consistent across the board. Okay, I think that's all of them. Let's, we don't need to re-import because we didn't change anything in the actual Excel file. My cat's all comfortable on my bed. He doesn't know that when I'm done streaming, I'm gonna kick him off my bed. I used to let him sleep when I always take a nap after I stream. I used to let him sleep in here, but he would always wake me up somehow. Okay. Let's hope that that looks okay. Let's see that translated now. Let's build something while we're here and see. Oh, God. Can we build something? We can. I know everything's all busted there. That's kind of the thing there. We should 8 times this, though. We don't want to sit here all day. That's what we were going to work on, but... All right, I think this is working. Yeah, everything that I see is translated, so I think we're pretty good there. And we still have a little bit of time. We can go back to the original plan here. So the original plan was to work on this thing and no, to work on this thing. So I think we should, what we got to do is decide how big. I think we should just make this a square, but I think we should limit the width of this thing. Or more square-ish. Yeah, I think we should just make this more square-ish. We have a general idea of what we need here. This keeps as we add more stuff, it's making this bigger, and this is getting bigger. So we don't need that to be big, though. And so let's go back to our texture rack here, and I'm going to rename this to like icon texture rack, and width proportionally. For some reason, I thought it was going to be height. Yeah. What if we keep size? So if we keep size, so what we'd have to do, once again, the problem is, once again, the problem is that when the screen size changes, it's going to change everything. Oh, look, possible improvement. Look at these things. All 3 of these things are untranslated. Oh, did we look at this other shit? I guess we didn't. Let's go back and look at this other shit. Improvement. Fisher's Shed. So we got to fix that still. So that's going to be under... There's a thing. It's actually this right here. We probably just don't have this translated. These must be they're getting instantiated on the control. Wow, we have 3 rows of this again. Recruit, hero, I don't think we need that. We don't need diplomacy right now. We don't need the clock right now. Battle control, we don't need. The event log, hopefully we're done with. County AI, we don't need this confirmation, hopefully. County improvement control, we're gonna need that. County generation, hopefully we don't need, though I just think we might actually need that. Maybe not. Top control, we don't need. County resource data, we hopefully, no, we are going to need that. Faction data, we probably don't need that. County, we're probably going to need. All right, at least we're down to 2 rows. The banker, we probably, battle control, we don't need. Player controls, hopefully we don't need. Token movement, definitely don't need that. Where was I? So this thing is gonna get instantiated when we open up the population list. So here is something. County name. Man, I need to clean this up. Generate population rows. There's their name. This is getting translated. See, we didn't have to put a translate thing on that one. This is going to be update activities is where this is going wrong. Current where, that's a county. So this is all, this little thing was a thing where I copied and pasted this into my original code into ChatGPT, and I said, can you make this better? And it did. So what we're going to want to do, though, is translate this, if it will let us. I don't think I need. It doesn't know what this is. Is this going to still give us shit? No, it's not. Then this, I don't know if this is going to work, though, because it's inside this strange thing. This strange thing that I don't know what this is. Text get activity name. So this is going to be returning something. We need to translate that to get activity name. Yeah. I don't know if we have those translated. Like in anywhere, activity name is like work. I think I have those as a resource somewhere though. Activities. Oh, I did do all this already. See, we're 3/4 of the way done on half this shit. We have to give them something to do though. We have to build one of these broken looking things. Let's speed it up here. I want to sit around and wait all day. Okay, that one's been fixed. Trabajo, that's all I know. This one is activity. So down here, this is on the description panel. I thought we did all this, but maybe this activities weren't being on this, not the research description panel though, on the population description panel, which I think we already had this open. There's probably like something like return name or some shit like that also in here. Update titles, update attributes, update skills, update perks, update preferred work. Okay, here's one thing. Improvement name, we need to translate that. It's making me put in translation server there, huh? We don't actually have to do that. I can see a TR right above it. This one's being improvement name. Yeah, we definitely need that. We already were translating this activity name, so I did part of this, I guess. Interest name. It's just very excited for the translation server part. We have extra one of those now. Skill name needs to be translated. Shut up. Shut up, Visual Studio. All right. Perk name. What else we got in here? Look at all this stuff down here. that is not. Those are just numbers, though. Skills, there's a skill name. Skill level, that one's already translated. So I think we got all of these now. And we didn't mess with the Excel file. So hopefully that will solve that. Let's see here. We need to build one of these. Or something. We need to build something. All right. I'm just going to keep an eye out for... Yeah, I should have done their full name. You know what? I could have put it like a new line in there too, so that it formatted this better. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. All right, that looks good. That looks good. Let's close the screenshot I did and then look at the last screenshot that I have here. Improvement has been completed, and that one's that we already fixed. So there we go. Everything is in Spanish. Well, not everything, obviously, because I can see things right on this screen that are not. We haven't gotten to this yet. We're going to get there. All right, back to this screen. So our county improvement button. We need to either, so there's ways we could do this. So for these textures, we could put like a minimum size, and I don't think... Yeah, the problem is you can't do like a... We could type in a size down here. No, we can't type in a size. We can put a minimum size, keep aspect. This might work. Maybe. It looks shitty, but I think this might work. You know, since this changes. Oh no, it's not going to change for us there. What are you blinking about? There we go, it went away. We could do it this way. It's going to be ugly though, but I think that's okay. Let's fuck around with it, and then we'll figure out how we want this to look. So if this is going to be like that though, I wonder if we put it like that. Let's put it back in the center for now. So what I'm thinking is this is gonna normally I have like a basic idea of how I want things to be, and then I just build what's in there. But we have so much extra shit in here that we're gonna want it I'm not quite sure how I want it, but I'm thinking, yeah, this is what we do. We put the building name up here. That looks great. That's exactly what I wanted. That's not obviously what I wanted. We put the building name back into this VBox. It's at the bottom now. I want the building name to stretch across the top, I think. So let's fix this. We might have to rebuild it from scratch. That's kind of a common. This H box is there, so that is actually what we want. We do want this to be a child of here. Not there though, motherfucker. Right here. And no, that's an H box. We don't want that. We want this to be here, but we're going to need another. I always joke around that you just keep adding H box and V boxes to your stuff here, and that will solve all problems. And that is the truth. Okay, so we can put this here. This isn't right though. So this VBox container needs to be like that, but different, sort of, eventually. All right, but we need to make it so that this doesn't go over the top, but I guess we'll get there. I know this is quite small. And chat's kind of in the way, but there's no one chatting, so it's fine. Everything's fine. So we want this. Let's put this at the top. This may not look good. We might have to change everything. So then we have this H box that includes just this icon and the words. We could get rid of the icon. No, let's keep the icon. I think it will make it, when we make it, a pretty thing, it will. So this... A possible building description button. Why do they all say button at the end? What? So that would have the name at the top. We're just gonna have to make this bigger. Where is this thing? Okay, so this is do we have a minimum size on this? How are we controlling this thing? We just have this manually typed in here? Oh, shit. But then we have it expanding because it expands wider on the other screen that it's used. So we could do this. We could say like, whatever, let's say 350. So we expand it by 100. Do we have an H box that is... No, I was thinking maybe we put this up in the corner, but I don't think that that's gonna... Has this changed anything over here? No, we'll have to restart it, but that's okay. Like I said, we'd make it more square. We could actually go a straight 400. Give us a little bit more space for everything, because this is not how this is going to look. So then we go back to this thing. No, this V-box, we do want at the top, but we want this label to be at the top. And then we want this thing to expand horizontally. Vertically, I mean. Okay, that didn't work how I thought it would. We want this thing to be at to go all the way up to the space, What else is in this V box? Nothing. This is H box. Okay, the H box is the problem. No, that's what we were just messing with. I want you to go up. None of these do anything. All right. That's something. Let's see. We have a size in here and a position, but it looks like it's controlled. Like this doesn't have to. Oh, there's a separator in here. What the fuck is this in here for? Oh, I remember. Oh, come back. I think it was to separate between the two so that these weren't like up against the size of this side of this thing. So what is holding? Okay, it's this thing we need to expand horizontally. It is set to fill. This is where that separator comes in. I wonder if it only fills... No. Horizontally. That's what we want. Vertically, I want it to... We have a minimum size of 200, huh? If we get rid of that, it doesn't even do anything. I think it's expanding. Hey, Stingle, how's it going? I think it's expanding as much as it needs to expand is the thing. You sound like me. Right, what is your new project? UI stuff is a new take on Pac-Man. Man, I used to the sit down Pac-Mans where we used to go to like some restaurant that had that and I'd always be so excited. What if I'm just curious, will this thing Yes. Yes is the answer to my question. Okay, so this will expand up to there if we need be. Oh, the sit down one? Yeah. Yeah, those were the days, and 25 cents was didn't feel like a lot of money to your parents, I guess. This will expand. I don't really like that that moves around. So, okay, let's arrange this how it's really going to go, and then we can put this description also back to the original size. I don't really want this gap here though. So maybe what we need to do is have this thing up at the top. If we can do that? No, you're not going to go up there, huh? You're going to stay at the bottom. This thing needs to be up at the top. Nope, you don't want to do that either, huh? Do I have some sort of separator or something? Shrink to begin. Shrink to center. Okay, this doesn't do anything. Fill. Nothing. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do shit. What's your take on Pac-Man? What is this one? Oh yeah, yeah. Wonder if there's a better way to do this besides all these. We could do a grid. I don't think that's going to be what we want though. That's in the exact spot that I want it. It's this thing. I must have something. That's just going to separate these two things. Oh man, I need to put some tool tips in here today too. I probably won't have time. Finding keys to unlock different quads of the map than like multi-tier bosses each unlock that. Oh, yeah. So you can keep expanding to a point, That's a good idea. And then, I mean, I'm trying to think, are there bosses in the original? I don't think there are bosses in the original Pac-Man, right? You just kind of go around and then when you're done with that level, you go to the next one. Yeah. Okay, why is this stuck to the bottom? Let's figure out this first issue. Sometimes, like I said, it's better just to blow up everything. Alignment begin. What is this? Center. End. This doesn't do shit. This is there, and see, this should expand. Something weird's going on, and it might be just something weird. So let's do this. Let's add another H box here. And let's put this new H box right here. Let's take this H box and just shove it out of the way somewhere. Get out of here, H box. And then let's look at this H box. And if we put, that's fine. If we put layout, container sizing, expand, vertical, fill, what's in here? Where are you? This is the hidden one. Okay. The button is like that. It's one giant button. The VBox container is the whole thing. We have this. Why aren't you expanding up to the top? What if we did this? I think I know what the problem is here. Let's add in here a panel container. I think we need something to force it to be bigger. I think that's the, and it's all, every time I fuck with the, oh, except you don't have a, every time I fuck with the UI, I have to remember all of the quirks. Let's not say, let's pretend it's just a panel though. Yeah, because I just want to see if, get this thing the fuck out of here. Let's put this panel in here. There's a bunch of, it's kind of a quirky system that I'm not, you don't have, I mean, we can expand that, but we need you to fill. Because what I want, how did I do these buttons? It's just a button that sits over the top, right? Yeah, I'm talking to myself, basically. It's inside of a button. The whole thing's inside of a, there's a control that's inside of a button. Is that a good way to do that? I don't think that is. That's not normally, did I do that this way? I did. I don't think I do it that way anymore. I think I just make a button. I put everything and then I just have a button that sits empty on top of it. And then you can click it. But you know, last time when I just did that recently, I had to fuck around with to make it so that you could click through all the garbage that was sitting on the button. So maybe this is a better way to do it. As long as I can get this button to, this thing to fit inside this button the way I want it. We could, all right, let's do this. If we're struggling with this, let's do this a different way. Let's start out, we have our button, we have our V box, we have our label that will be at the top. We want to have, get out of here. Well, no, we're definitely going to need an H box in here. There's no way around that. So we'll put this H box here. We'll just leave it sitting like that. Let's drag in. We know in the H box we need this icon. So we're going to put this icon over here. We don't care where it is just yet. The next thing we know that we're going to want in this H box is a description. So we'll put this in here too. That is not the order though. We want it to be like this. So with this, what we have currently, let's close this thing down so we can see this easier. And we'll just rip the parts out of this. This is the size we want this thing. That's fine. This description text, we want it to, we want this description text what the fuck? You should be able to, you should be inside this control. Oh, wait, here's a problem. This control should be not that big. We want the control to, so this could have been what our issue is. The control looks like it's manually set. Is that what's going on here? I've also kind of changed how I do things too. Some of these things come with a control. This one doesn't. And I've been like kind of getting rid of the control if it comes, like if the first thing that's its, you know, its first child is a control, you know, unless there's, like this has multiple things. I guess the button, does the button come with a control? It does. So we could actually get rid of that control and just start with the button. We'd have to rewrite some shit. Well, not really rewrite, more like change a few things. Because there's generally, are we going to have anything outside the button? We're not. So we could get rid of that control and just use this button. Like in the good old days, I thought you had to have a control for everything. Because that's what kind of, it's implied a lot that you have to have a control. That's what people say too, is that they're like, "Oh, just make sure you have a fucking control in there." But they actually come, a lot of the things come with a control. So this is what we're going to do. Let's do a new one. 2D scene. Yes. We're going to change, no, we're going to do this. We're going to bring this button over here. We're going to change this. We're just going to start from scratch. I didn't want to do that, but all right. We're going to have a button. We're going to name this County Improvement Button. And we're going to save this. Let's actually cancel this. Let's rename this. If I can. Save scene as old. We're going to break a bunch of shit here. But it's okay. It's okay. And then we're going to name this County Improvements Button. And UI scenes, that's where I want you to, you motherfucker. Is the old one saved in here? It is. Like, why do I not want to do that, right? There's just, it feels wrong. Did I close this? No, let's close this thing. Let's go to my UIC. It just, I don't want, you know, you don't want to just delete shit. County improvements, UI scenes. We're in the wrong spot here. UI scenes, county improvement button. If I open this, so it gave me a new thing. Let's open this one. Oh, it has it like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to close that thing. County improvement button. Old is what we're going to call that. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. We'll delete this shit is what we're going to do eventually. Then we're going to save this as county improvements button. Then we have our button here because we're going to pull some shit out of here. And this has like some of the garbage that we want. Hopefully, if it will let me, that is. I think that there's like if I cut this and then paste this in here. Okay, let me. Sometimes it's weird what things you can do and not do. So we know that we're going to need, the first thing we're going to need is a VBox. So we're going to go VBox and so that we can have vertical things in this. So we're going to have a VBox, and then underneath that, we're going to need an HBox. So the first thing is we're going to need that label, and then underneath, shared with that is the HBox thing that's going to have the texture on the right and the text on the left. So then we're going to need this, this thing can go, this thing, and we're going to paste this right here. And then this is going to have that texture. Oh, except I cut that texture instead of copying it. Copy this over here. This is going to have a texture. And then we're going to go back. And on the left side, we're going to have all of this garbage. But we're not going to actually just copy all that garbage over. We're going to do it differently. That looks great, right? We're going to do this is on the left. Possible building. This should be just name. I don't know why all of those things have button on them still. Then we're going to go back to this thing. It seems to have lost its... I guess I fucked with that afterwards. We're going to ignore... You know what? We have the one I fucked with in this other thing. Yeah, we'll copy this one. We'll delete this one. We'll paste this one. There we go. Now back to this VBox. We want this VBox to have a minimum size. Actually, we want the button to have it. We'll start with the button because we got rid of that control. We'll have the button have a minimum size of whatever. Let's say it was like 450 by, I think it was 200. But we added some. And so part of this is that when we get to this other, I don't even know if this is going to look right. So this one has a larger width than this. Not that you can tell because of the shit is all over the place, but there's a larger width in there. So this button is there. This needs to be inside the control, but I guess it can't because this is too small. This should be... It's interesting that this is the thing that's squished it out. What does your layout say? Horizontal fill. This isn't even on vertical. Shrink to center? Shrink to beginning? No, this doesn't do shit. Vertical, it's kind of weird that it's able to explode like that. What do you got going? You have a minimum size in here. Container sizing, shrink to center. We want you to expand there. That will fix that issue to a point. See, I made this button bigger on the other one. Let's make it a square. Then right after I said that, I'm like, a square button? That seems terrible. We're going to try somewhat. It's still a rectangle, but... All right, now this is actually working more. What's your fucking problem? Labels with auto wrap must be configured with a minimum size. Yes, I remember this. Let's also override this font size thing because I don't want it that anymore. Because now we have, didn't I have a minimum size? Oh, I just got rid of that minimum size. The minimum size will be 30. There you go, go away. All right, we're on the right path here. This thing is, we want you at the top though. Okay, I take that back. We're not on the right path. We're in the same path. We've gone into the same path. So this H box, we can't get it to expand for some reason. What I wanted to do is expand here and center this shit. Maybe if I center this thing, it will push it around. Nope. I don't want it to stretch. Yeah, that's the same thing. I was just shrink center. Yeah, this doesn't do shit. This is horizontal though. What did I have this at originally? Shrink, I think it was shrink center. What happens if we expand? Nope. Wonder if we can force it with the label. But the label, I wonder why I can't make this thing. It's always some like quirk that I gotta remember. Like I said, like there's a checkbox somewhere that's like, oh yeah, you make this thing. But this container, I feel like should fill up this because there's two things in here. And I remember there was a way there I was able to trick it on one thing where I had to like have a control inside of a control to get it to expand the way I wanted. Because this part's right. The button's right. What we could do, actually, this is what we're going to do. Right after I say that, I stop talking. Okay, I have an idea. We can change, we can kind of, this doesn't have to be pretty. But what we can do, actually, is, so what does this expand to? See, you're not doing what I want you to do either. But there, that's more like it. We can now put in, well, we'll just fuck, we'll fuck around until it gets right. That's what we're going to do. Influence cost and amount. We'll bring both of these over. This is going to be so busted. The whole game's going to be busted when we're done with this. This is an H box, though. So inside this H box, we need a V box. And maybe we can push that thing around with the V box. So you're going to go over here. You're going to go over here. And now this thing's all fucked up, see? Look at that piece of shit. You shouldn't be outside. So of this H box, though, you shouldn't be able to push this H box around. H box is fill. Yeah, this doesn't do anything. We want you to be constrained by being oh, you pushed around this thing. You need to be inside. It won't let me. You need to be inside here regardless. Maybe because these are so long, it's pushing them. Let's see if that does it. Well, I'm going to get rid of this word button anyways. And this, I don't know why these all say button. Doggo outside. I feel like there's a way to constrain these inside this. Maybe with a margin container. This is where we need that separator too, because it's already doing what I was talking about, where they're like touching nearly. I'm trying to think about if there's a better way to do this. If there's a better, in terms of like, we could do grid. I think this should be on the far right. I don't know if that's going to do anything. But I feel like this should be over here. It should go all the way. I think we have to do like expand or something dumb. Yeah. To make that happen. In these ones, I think we want to do like horizontal's already on fill. How the fuck did I do this on these other ones? I guess I haven't had one that's this complicated. This is the most complicated. Like I have all sorts of like UI shit. Like this is somewhat complicated, but in reality, this is just like a V box with a bunch of buttons inside of it. This is like V boxes inside V boxes, inside H boxes, inside whatever. And we haven't even got all of the things we need. So I guess we could have just left this here, but with number of buildings under construction, let's leave under construction at the end. Maybe we'll turn that into an icon. Maybe we'll have like a grayed out icon in the background that's like hammering or something. Not like actually animated hammering, but let's copy these things over and put them in here. And that actually looks a lot better, but it's not actually at all what we want. What's in this one? Whatever input. Yeah, we need this thing too. So this is supposed to be in here as well. And see, now we're getting out of control. So what we need to do is adjust the size of the button to fit these things. And I think this description being kind of big like that is a solution to the problem of the text, the subscription text or description text being, what we need to do though is put a minimum size on it, I think. Like, because it's going to auto wrap. Like, probably, like, let's say 100. Yeah, I don't like that it's going over the edges, though. What we probably would want, actually, is shrink center. So it shrinks it to 300. Or 30, not 300. Let's fix some other crap here, because I think we're going to have other issues. So this is going to be whatever inputs. Let's think about how these inputs are going to look. So let's say that it needs 5 inputs. Okay, not 5. 5's a lot. But let's say it needs whatever, wood, like I was saying earlier, whatever it was, steel, paper, and glass. So that's 3 things right there. So we need to have the ability we need to like stick a grid or something in there to hold those, to hold the possibility. And let's say it's a late game thing like a tank. You're going to have like a bunch of inputs. Not like 50, but like 6 or something. You know, you're going to have like steel, uh, wiring. I don't know. But you're going to have a lot of inputs. And I would like to pre-prepare these boxes so we don't have to do this again. Like maybe some minor changes for when we beautify it, but we don't have to like rebuild this every fucking time we add in a new resource. I'm running out of, I'm out of time, but let's looking at this makes me think that maybe we don't want this icon here, but I really think we're going to want a picture. Like, think of every strategy game you've ever played. They have like a picture of the thing you're going to be building just to get you into the world that you're playing in. I mean, we could go all text, but I really think we're going to want to have a picture. So influence cost, did we bring everything over? So we need influence cost, amount of work, use remnants, which is produce as needed. So we need both of these buttons or check boxes or whatever. Materials title. This is the inputs. I'm going to rename this because I've already forgotten what this shit was. Input materials produces output produces, and then this H box though, these are all inputs, so this is going to actually be down here. Please, sorry, I'm begging that thing to not, it's kind of a pain to move some of these things around. What I want to do is actually have like this go here, there we go, and then output just dawned on me. I mean, what happens if something produces two things? So we're gonna have the same thing. We're gonna have to have a duplicate of this. This thing's gonna be fucking complicated. So this needs to go here, not as a child though. I mean, I guess we could make it a child. So this is gonna be inputs, title. This is gonna be outputs. We're not going to finish this today, but I'm going to put inputs, HBox container. I'm just going to do a couple more things. And motherfucker, let's get rid of this. I don't like it when it has these numbers at the end. I know, it doesn't matter. This is going to be use remnants, checkbox. And this is going to be produce as needed, checkbox. I don't like that doesn't have capitals in it, but that's fine. So I think what we're going to, this is just going to have to be wildly different, is what's going on. That's the key, is this is just going to have to be wildly different. And then we'll have to fit it on that other page differently, you know? So if we make that 50 and this like 400, we're still got a rectangle. I don't know why I care if it's a square or a rectangle. What do we got? We got 1920 to work with. Um, 640 is what we could do here, is make it like a third of the screen. And then like in the research page, we could move this stuff to be over on the side, and we could make it a, you know, it wouldn't be actually 640. It could be a little smaller. We're going to say 600 because there's going to be a bar and whatnot, and move this shit over. And then on this page, we could actually make it a third of the page regardless. You know, we could put some borders or some shit if we had to do it. Or we could put a third thing in here, possible improvements, under construction, and current improvements. We could have 3 things. So maybe about a third of a page. And then the problem is that if we have the person has a smaller screen, they're just shit out of luck. Okay, we would have to figure out a way to make it work with a smaller screen. But I think about, let's not do 640, let's do 600. Because we're going to need, probably 40 pixels is too much, but let's do like that though. This thing, I don't know why it's not, maybe I didn't adjust how it's, God, the song I'm listening to is awful. Okay, so this, if we turn off expand, this actually kind of works there. And I think we're going to want an H box in here. Like I said, you just keep adding H box and V boxes. This is how you do it in this with Godot. You just keep adding H boxes and V boxes until everything looks how you want it to look. This should be on expand though. And then this one too, and then it will fill the fucking thing. Okay. And then what's your problem? Your problem is that you're not centered. Input materials. So now we're back to this other problem. If I make this a child of this, what happens? Oh, it implodes. I think, so once again, how many input children are we going to have? This, what the hell is going on up here? We want this thing to expand horizontally, and it just doesn't want to, or vertically. It's like stuck to the size of this graphic or some shit. I guess it doesn't need any more space right now. Let's put you at the top. Let's put you... This really should be, no, horizontally, it really should be fill. And then we want it to go to the top, though. That doesn't work. If we expand it to fill this, it doesn't do anything either. Why the fuck doesn't this work easily? This is a label. Well, I want you centered. I want you to work that way. $600 by 100. This is right, but I want you, we're back to the same exact thing. Why it doesn't stick to the top of this. I think we need another V-box, right? That's the solution for all of our issues. Is if we put a V-box in here, then we put these inside here. See, you just need more V-box and... I'm always joking about that, but I'm not joking, I guess. We just need more V-boxes and H-boxes. All right, that's what we want. This needs to be in here, and this needs to be in here. Yeah, that expands. Okay, there we go. We needed a net. We probably could have done this with that other button, and we would have saved ourselves some hassle. Luckily, we like, it's not like we're deleting scripts or anything. Then this thing. So we have this H box, we have this V. We're going to get there. I'm going to call it a day very soon, but I need to figure out how I want to do this. So this, let's say we instantiate each input that it needs. So each county improvement's going to have like an array or something of inputs it needs. So it's going to say steel, whatever, whatever, whatever. We're going to have this like a grid or something. Because otherwise, what we would do, if this was just an H box, it's just going to keep trying to put more and more of them in there. And it would just turn into, it's going to start overlapping and stuff. So let's say we did a grid instead of an H box. We added a grid. I forget what they're called. Grid container. And then the grid container would go here. And then would be like here, and here. And then this grid container has some columns. We say 2, let's say 3. And then it would put 3 things in there. Let's put a third one as a test. So it would put 3 things in there, and if we have a 4th one, it's just going to put it like that. That's what we want. So we're going to need a grid container. So the only problem with the grid container is that when we have like 5 items, there's going to be like an empty spot for it, but I don't really think that we give a shit, right? We don't give a shit. We'll leave it like this for this testing period. But now we have another problem, and that is that now we're pushing this thing the fuck over here. All right. I'm going to put another grid container, though. I'm actually going to copy this one and put it wherever here. Get the fuck out of here. See, I knew it was going to make it as a child there. Then we're going to delete this thing. And then we're going to delete this thing. Then we're going to go rename this grid container, and we're going to call this inputs. And we're going to rename this thing and call it outputs. And then so now we have, this is a good test. Having too many is probably a good test for, we want use-centered. We want use-centered. We're going to have to translate all this shit too. So we're kind of getting there. The picture fucking sucks, though, the texture. We need to somehow limit this thing to not. I think we could put in, so this is the, well, I guess we could force a size by adjusting how it. Let's look at it. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day, but let me look at one last thing. So for resources, no, we do have some long ones. So even with the, we only currently have what, 6 of these things, and with 6 of them, we currently have like scouting equipment. It's pretty long. So if we put in like here, let's type in scouting equipment, and then it's already a problem. And the other issue that we're going to have here is that Spanish already, we're seeing that Spanish is always like a lot longer. So maybe we only do 2, and then we like center this thing somehow. I'm sure there's a center for this. We probably need to do it on here. We set it to like expand, probably. Yeah, we would set all of these to expand. I don't know if it will let me do this. This is another thing that I've been. Yeah, that worked though. So if we do 2 columns, let's do that with this one too. And then we go, these are just test ones. We're going to instantiate that shit. So we're going to have like a minimum size or something, or shit is going to be bouncing all over the place. I guess it won't really be bouncing that much, but we want that to be like that. We also want these things to be centered. I don't think, oh, it will. I could have done that with these ones too. So it's going to kind of look like this. We still don't have like the amount of workers. There's going to be a lot of work to fix this because we don't have the amount of workers over here. We don't have the amount of builders over here. But so we're going to be working on this all next weekend. This will be this one panel. We're going to be very intimately familiar with how this thing is. And I know I'm trying to cram a lot of information in here, but I think it's necessary to have all this information. And there's a couple of things that turn off and on, like the number of builders goes away and becomes number of workers. But maybe we should just No, definitely we want that once it's built to get rid of the number of builders. And we also, another thing that we didn't do, holy shit. All right, let's write down what all this crap, because I'm not pick between inputs, outputs, as needed button. All right, so we're going to need a bunch of different shit here. We're going to need, and I've already forgot all of the shit that I just talked about. County improvement output could take more than 1 day. All right, I was just reading what this thing I put here. County improvements button needs. No. Let's just do this. Let's turn you into a... We're going to kind of put just a ton of notes in one thing. We can break them apart later into one issue here. This is so that I can remember what I'm doing next time, basically. So, what we want to edit this thing. Look, we can put bullet points if we wanted in here. So let's go back to this. I'm going to move this onto my other screen so I can look at it. Except on my other screen, it's too small. My other screen on this computer has a different resolution. Has a smaller resolution. All right, so we need to have a spot for influence cost, money cost, material cost. So right now we are only using influence, but the thing is that that's going to change in the future. So we might as well throw these things in. Let's actually put that in the note. Right now, we only use influence for purchasing a building, county improvements, but we will need other things in the future. So let's do this now. So spot for influence cost, money cost, material cost. So it might cost you 5 wood or some shit. Amount of work cost. Amount. We don't need this. We can just do this. Amount of work cost. So that's how many people hours or whatever. They're not hours. It's days. People days. We need the use remnants checkbox, which we already have on there. Produce as needed checkbox. This is by far the most complicated one that I've had to do so far. Input, materials, output. I know some of these are already on here, but I feel that if I have a list, maybe it will make our life easier. Use input, output, builders needed, worker, max workers, current workers, max workers, adjustable buttons to lower and raise number of workers. I really think we're going to have that. I don't want to. I don't want this. I don't want this, but I think we are going to need this. So basically, I was talking about this. I think I just got sidetracked, but basically, I want the computer to adjust itself and you not have to fuck with it. I'll have to think about that. Maybe there's a way we can set it where when it goes through the account where it's assigning who's working where, so it should like assign one to the first place, and then if there's if if it goes then it should go down and rearrange the list by the number of workers where there's the least number of workers, basically. And then it would assign the next person to there, and then the next person. Maybe I'll put that in right here. Maybe assign workers. This is like a word. This is huge. Maybe assign workers to county improvements by least number of workers instead of the current way. Yeah, this is going to be a massive thing that I'm not going to think about until I start streaming next time. But you may want to put less resources. Yeah, exactly. And that's what, but once again, it's back to the tediousness of Victoria 3. A lot of times when I play Victoria 3, I think of it reminds me of things I don't want to do in my game. Later on, man, it gets so tedious. You have to like fucking with little shit. You're like, why am I losing all this money? And it's because you're building too many goddamn wooden boats or some shit. And go fuck with them. Then you have to unpause it and let it run for a while to figure out if that actually did anything. And then you got to pause because it's adjusting things as you're changing it, but those are lies. It's lying to you. But yes, you are exactly right. Like this, these are probably going to have to be there because it's back to the thing where like you might know what your long-term plans are, but the computer isn't. I think we have to have those there. I think you have to have those buttons there. And because this is all government-owned buildings, right? Government, it's practically anarchy at this stage in the game. But when it's private buildings, they'll do that on their own. But yeah, I think that, yeah, it's got to be done. Like you're saying, you've got to, because the computer doesn't know what the player's planning. So if you suddenly need more guns or whatever, you know that in the future you're going to go to war. You might want to bump all your workers, and that is a resource. The workers are resources, like you're saying. So okay, we do need this. This has to be here. But I think we are going to need this. No, let's put this, but we are going to need this. So that's another thing we need on the list. Input, we want the texture. I'm pretty sure we're going to have the texture icon. What else is on this? I'm going to save this. I think I had some things in these notes. As needed button. That's already on the list. Prioritize button so people could all right, so we do need even with that, we're gonna need a prioritize button because they're gonna you say you want 5 workers, but they might be working somewhere else. So we're also gonna need a prioritize button. Prioritize button for working and constructing. So I rearranged some stuff a couple of streams ago. I think it was 2 weekends ago or something. Said that they'll construct first. But there may be a point where you have a bunch of shit queued up. This is what I do in like RimWorld and stuff, is I queue up too much stuff. I do it all the time. I'll queue up 40 fucking things, and then I'll be like, why isn't anyone doing anything that I want them to do? Because they have too much shit. One guy's supposed to be doing, and they never get to it. So I think we're also going to need a prioritize button. And that way, too, let's say something critical was going on, like you needed food, otherwise everyone's starving. You could hit a prioritize button, and then the prioritize button would make it so people would constantly work to the number of workers that you assign here. Yeah, that's gonna lots of images of buildings, different kinds of build. Yeah, this is the texture icon. That's what this is supposed to be, a picture of the building. Whoops, I clicked on the wrong thing. These are supposed to be the pictures of the buildings, but I don't, they're just placeholder. I think, let's see, let's go back to this. But I think this is almost everything. This thing is going to be massive. maybe we do want it just to be its own page. Like its own description page. I was trying to make it so you can look easier at your, well, I'll think about it, but let's close this real quick. Not the issue, just the thing. Amount of resources the building generates every day should be in the, I don't think that was on my list. This thing should just be its own page. The problem is if you're trying to decide what to build, you shouldn't have to click through all these fucking buildings to look at them. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what is a fisher's shack? And then you have to click on the fisher's shack and you see the information and you're like, oh, it makes 6 fish. Then you close that and you say, well, how much does the farm make? Then you go into the farm and you go, oh, it makes 5 farms. I don't know, vegetables. And you're like, oh wait, how many fish does the thing make? Oh right, let me go back. And you close the farm thing and you go back to fish and you go, oh, it made 6. And then you're like, okay, wait, there's vegetables. So what about the hunter's thing? And then you click and you close that and you got to go open up the hunter's thing and you go, oh, it makes 7 deer skins or whatever. And you go, oh, how many fucking, and then you're going back and forth. I don't want to have to do that. So we need to put in here though. Oh, we have output produces. Let's put name and amount. Exactly. So I think this has to be, instead of having a description panel, like I have the population description, I don't think you're going to be comparing. I mean, you are, but you can compare them from here. Like if you want to find, let's say construction, since I know what this is, you could be like, okay, Justin's our best construction. Well, okay, it's Keith. Progress. I didn't even think about progress, but progress would be under here. We got to add that to the list. We could have a percentage for construction too, like we did on the other thing. God damn it. Let's add that to the list. Let's get this list over hover. Oh, a tooltip, huh? It's a good idea too, to have more information on the tooltip. That's another thing. Who was saying that? I was reading, it was who as in Reddit. It was some Reddit thing was talking about Victoria 3 actually, again. Tooltip death, where you're like, you have to like hover over a tooltip, then go to a tooltip, then go to a tooltip to like figure out what the fuck is going on. I definitely want good tooltips, and I actually installed a mod that improved the tooltips in Victoria 3, but it wasn't good enough. But yes, we're definitely gonna have, let's put in here tooltipping to have more details, possibly. Because that is a good idea, and we can offload some of this shit to tooltips. What was the other thing there you said? Oh yeah, progress, because we need that in there. Progress. Progress. I suddenly for building, for constructing. It's for constructing the county improvements, but we're back to what if things are multiple days? Multiple days for construction of an item such as scouting equipment. I knew this was going to be a lot, but I didn't think it was going to be this much, which is a common thing. Thus, it would need a progress bar as well. So I think we do want to have multiple days. So that means that we're going to have to change how people work. How do we, I'm gonna look at something here. I gotta bring this back over here. Um, because I think scouting equipment would only take a day, but I do think there's going to be some vehicles and stuff. I mean, I know vehicles are a main thing we want to put in eventually. So they will take more than a day, especially if they're primitive. You know, you're scrapping, you're making shit out of scrap. It's going to take longer, and you have like a crappy building thing, uh, like a crappy construction, a primitive tank workshop. There we go. I'm just making shit up. If you're a primitive tank workshop, it's going to take a lot longer to build than your modernized tank factory with robots and stuff. So it's going to definitely take. So we're going to have to rethink how we do. So and it's funny. I actually thought about this with primitive scouting, having a whole different kind of resource that was finished goods, basically. So there's like raw resources and then there's finished goods. And I was like, no, we can do it fine with the county resources, but I think we're going to probably maybe want to have that. So raw resources like fish and rocks and wood and stuff, you would get multiple of those in a single day. But with finished resources, we're going to like scouting equipment, we're going to need maybe another type of resource, or we could use the same resource but just have like a checkbox for this is a finished good. I think all of we're gonna have to have. Yeah, let's go back to this thing. Let's put a note in here with possibly have some sort of different oh yeah, resuming. Possibly have some sort of different. That's a good point. Some sort of different resource or a bool for finished goods. Progress for constructing the multiple days. Also, it would allow pausing of production of a finished good if finished goods had some sort of just like the county instructions have a cost, work cost. You know, like to build the scouting equipment place, it cost whatever 100 works. They're not called works, but you know what I'm saying. 100 works. Man hours. They're not man hours either. They're like man days. Man days, but you can get a bonus if they roll their skill check. Yeah, so this is going to be a major thing, and I'm going to break these all down. Not completely, but I'm going to break these down. I think we got enough for next. Enough notes here so I can remember what the fuck I'm doing. And normally I don't make such extensive notes at the end of a stream, but I'm going to forget half this shit, so I got to really... And this is going to be way different. In MD? I haven't heard that before. What does MD stand for? Man Day? Man... I've heard man hour. I haven't heard man days before. Maybe I have. I don't know. Yeah, man days. Man hour, definitely. That's like used all the time. All right. Man days, huh? What are you building? What are you building? They have to measure it in days. All right. We did some localization. Localization. Yeah, like so we occasionally in my job will get quotes from like third-party IT people for to help like with some infrastructure stuff. It's basically having a second set of eyes, and it's always we always do like man hours where it's like it will the cost for the equipment and an estimated 30 man hours or whatever. Uh, Localization for event log and start of rebuilding county improvement button. Let's make sure that one thing is closed. Oh, wow. Well, then man days makes much more sense than man hours. You'd have some ridiculous 67,000 man hours or something. Yeah, mine's a mom and pop shop, but it also where I work. I don't think I'm trying to think. I'm probably like 5 man hours is kind of a lot. When that's planned out. When I first started, what was that? Oh, so when I first started my job, I had to learn the infrastructure. The fuck is this? I had to learn the infrastructure for the new company that I was working for, right? And I found that, and I was positive I was wrong, but I found that the backup system that was supposed to be copying our data offsite didn't go anywhere. And I was like, this has to be wrong, right? Like, did the guy lie? All the documentation says it goes offsite. And it turned out he was lying. He just said, yeah, it goes offsite, and it didn't. And so I think that when we quoted to fix that, I think that was more than like 5 man hours for the third party people to reset that up. But it was after that, I think that was the one major thing. Um, but yeah, man hours is generally the way. All right, we pushed this. This has been pushed, successfully pushed. We're there. We're good to go. Thank you guys for joining me. I am going to take a nap. Poor cat has to get off my bed. I will talk to you guys next time, probably next weekend. Have a good